Chef Jeffrey, the famous chef, and now he's speaking.
And many of you young people, and after spending nearly 10 years of my life in prison, you don't have to go to prison to change your life. I changed my life in prison. All of you young people have every opportunity before you to make a difference in your life. And I know when you're young and somebody's kicking some game to you, it goes to one ear out the other. Because we get caught up sometimes in the moment. We get caught up with our homies, our friends, and what's going on in the neighborhood, trying to be cute, popular. We get caught up in gadgets and trinkets, all the bells and whistles that some of us who have low self-esteem believe that we need those gadgets and trinkets to validate us as a person. Sometimes our young women feel that they have to give themselves up at a young age to feel validated, to feel loved, to feel wanted by someone. See, I watch my sisters have children at young ages because they had low self-esteem, because my sister and I grew up like many of you guys. But we didn't have a father in the home. See, I didn't grow up in a house where we had a double-door refrigerator. When you go in the kitchen and you open it up, and you got choices for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 2 or 3 of them fancy breakfast juices. Grape juice, orange juice, apple juice. So we didn't have them things in our refrigerator. I grew up in a house where we didn't have a cookie jar, a bowl of fruit on the table. It was oatmeal, sometimes grits, with a couple of eggs my sister put together, mixed with the grits, and crumbled up a few slices of bacon in a bowl of grits. And maybe had a couple slices of fried bologna. My mother worked 2 jobs. I was hungry many times. My dream when I was a youngster was to one day get a house on the hill with a white picket fence, with 2-3 car garage, and have a swimming pool in the backyard, on a quiet street with big trees, one of them fancy double-door refrigerators, filled with all kinds of food. So I had to go to school and hustle, steal lunch tickets, just so I could get extra meals. Some of y'all might be able to relate to that. Some of your mothers might be able to relate to that. But that dream never left me, because I wanted what everybody else had. I wanted what them suburban kids had. I wanted a mother and a father at home. I wanted to wake up in the morning and say, good morning, mommy, good morning, daddy. I never woke up in my life and said, good morning, mommy, good morning, daddy. I watched my mother work hard her whole life, 2, sometimes 2.5 jobs, to put food on the table. I watched my mother come home many a night and drink herself to sleep, frustrated with her life, with herself. And what happened was, with having that low self-esteem and having the wrong values and a bad dream, I started to click with the homies in the neighborhood and started selling drugs. Now I don't need to say no more about that, because eventually I wound up going to prison. See? But I want you to know that life is about choices. It's about the consequences. My dream was driven because I wanted to help my mother. And I made a lot of mistakes in my life. Because what happened was, guys like myself back in the day indirectly influenced a whole generation of young people. See, you guys are carbon copies of the generation before you. See? And that's why it's important for me and guys like myself to come back and share our stories. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't mean nothing. The jewelry, the latest fashion, the gadgets and the trinkets. It's knowledge. And knowledge is money. Knowledge is chips. Knowledge is that house on the hill with the white picket fence. It's education. Come on. Come on with it. See, they told me that I could never get a job as a chef in none of these fancy restaurants and hotels. See, I got my GED when I was in prison. And I had mentors. I intellectually jacked the smartest people around me. And I learned the game. I learned to become a chameleon. I had to build a brand. See, I had to make a lot of changes in order to get paid. I had to get my teeth fixed, clean shave my face so I could get a job. I had to learn to smile. I read every day so I could improve my vocabulary, so I could become articulate when I went into corporate America to talk up for me a job. And I took lesser jobs to get a better job later. I took less money to make more money later. So you can't always think about just getting the money. You got to get the game first. So sometimes you have to alter things, your image, your brand, just to get in. It's not called selling out. It's putting the game face on and go amongst the best in the game and jack them for the knowledge. See? And that's how I was able to reach the level of success that I did. But see, you guys are the future. You guys influence the next generation. And I got 3 of my babies here today. Where's my children? See, these is my babies. See? And there was a time in my life where I didn't value family, because I really didn't have it like that. Now I'm 44 years of age, and my babies wake up every morning, and they say, good morning, mommy, good morning, dad. That means a lot to me. And I want you to know, one day you're going to be an adult. So when you make the decisions, this is who it affects. All you beautiful young teenage women, my babies is watching y'all. You are their role models. You are their example. The same with the young men for my son. So we got to be positive. We got to break them cycles of poverty in our family. We got to go to school. We got to get educated. We got to get our paper, because the American dream is real. You know, Barack Obama won the presidency, right? That's just one man. You can do anything that you want to do in life. And you know what turned the tide for me? I realized that the people who live in the suburbs, they come from all races, all colored people. The only difference between them and you is they got the game. They got knowledge. They got more information than you. Once you get the knowledge and get the game, they can't touch you. And that's what I'm saying. I said, I want to be a chef. I don't want to be frying chicken and making collard greens. I already know how to make that. I want to go amongst the top chefs in the industry. I want a restaurant. I want to make $100,000 a year. I want a house on the hill. Why not? That's the American dream. Why should y'all have a swimming pool in the backyard? Why shouldn't you be able to get educated? See, it's good to have a dream.
I'm here with Chef Jeff, and he's a good chef. Can you tell me a little bit about your childhood?
Well, I grew up in poverty. My dad, mother divorced when I was real young. And my mother raised us, and it was tough for me. I wanted to make a lot of money. I wanted to buy a house for my mother. I wanted a swimming pool, a cookie jar, fruit bowl, and all those things that I thought was important. And I wound up hanging around the wrong guy, selling drugs, and wound up going to prison. And by the blessing of God, I was able to change my life.
How did you become a chef?
Well, actually, when I was in prison, I had an opportunity to cook in the kitchen. I got fired on my job, and I was put on a pot and pan detail, and I got really good at it. And for the first time in my life, people started praising me for my great food. And I said, hey, maybe one day I can become a chef. So that's how I started cooking.
What is your favorite food to cook?
My favorite food to cook is my maple braised beef short ribs, or molasses braised beef short ribs with mashed potatoes and cabbage. You like that? Good.
What kind of foods do you like to eat?
I like Thai food. I like Mexican food. I like soul food. I like a lot of the foods that I grew up on. I love to eat the meatloaf. I love chicken wings, and I make a great fried chicken too, brother.
Can you cook shrimp?
Oh yeah, I make a barbecue shrimp scampi. That's in my book. Grilled shrimp too.
Can you cook potatoes?
I make potatoes too, baked, boiled, roasted, the whole 9 yards.
Can you cook chicken?
Come on, brother. I make the meanest fried chicken west of the Mississippi, young man.
What about your mashed potatoes?
Mashed potatoes, buttermilk, a lot of butter, salt, and black pepper.
Thank you.
My pleasure, sir. Thank you.